Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain for You. Today's topic is going to be MSU University, and I'll explain that in a little bit. This one's kind of a little bit fun. So before we do that, we'll take a couple of deep breaths. It's a nice crisp fall day. It's getting cold, it's in the 40s, so I'll be freezing pretty soon. I'm going to breathe in that cold, clean air. Breathe out the indoor air that I've been breathing all day. Breathe in the confidence. Exhale the doubt. Breathe in the bravery. Exhale the fear. I'll encourage you to deep breathe through the message. Just kind of take a little more air into your lungs and just kind of relax into this. So MSU University comes about from hearing so many stories from people, the things that they hear from their doctors, from their friends, from themselves. And essentially we can kind of come to conclusions, or doctors can, or friends can. And where this comes about, what really made me laugh was I was talking to a young lady not too long ago, and she had some back pain and she had some hip pain start about a month ago. So she went to her doctor. The doctor looked at her and says, you know, maybe something happened during childbirth. And so when she told me that, I said, well, okay, how old are your kids? Oh, my kid's 3. And so MSU University, it's like the university of making stuff up. So I am inclined to say, and please share your experience with things that you have heard from doctors and friends, or even kind of concluded to yourself, that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. And we make stuff up all the time, you know, but doctors, like that case, you know, her hip pain started at, based on something that happened at childbirth 3 years ago. Sorry, he's just got no answers, so he kind of makes something up to make him sound like he's got an answer. So it's really funny how that can happen. But unfortunately, you know, because doctors have this authority stature in society, they got the white lab coat, they got the degree on the wall, we actually listen to them. And we believe them. And we'll hear doctors say, well, you've got disc degeneration, and that's the cause of the pain. Okay, doctor, well, I have back pain and hip pain. How does a disc degeneration cause my hip to hurt? Well, it might have something to do with the nerves, or because you're in pain in your back, it might be pulling you out of alignment. They're making stuff up. And feel free to use a more colorful word for stuff. Right? And so this is going to be a quick video. I don't have a ton of examples, but I just really wanted to share with you that not everything that the doctors say is accurate. Sometimes it's literally pulled out of their rear end because they don't have an answer for you. Keep in mind, doctors learn very little about chronic pain in medical school. They mostly learn about anatomy. They mostly learn about procedures and treatments and pharmaceuticals. But as it relates to chronic pain, you probably know more than they do about how pain starts, becomes chronic, and the experience of having it, unless, of course, they've had it. But when you go to a doctor, they're guessing. Here, take these muscle relaxers. But I have nerve pain. Okay, but take these muscle relaxers. They're operating out of a textbook or a checklist. Sorry, a little bit of a plane noise going overhead. And so doctors will make stuff up, or they will simply read out of the textbook and say, these symptoms equals that diagnosis. I had somebody else I talked to today, and you know, actually saw a spine surgeon. And because of disc degeneration 5 years ago, the doctor said, I have a strong hunch that you've got a fracture on one of your vertebrae. And this freaked this woman out. right? Because she had actually started feeling better over the past month by applying this TMS methodology. And then when she heard this strong hunch from this spine surgeon that she may have a fracture that may require surgery and you better go for a CAT scan now, what happened? Her pain spiked really high. And so what evidence did the doctor have of a fracture? What evidence did the doctor have that a fracture was causing her pain? And frankly, doctor, how can you explain the fact that before I even heard you say these negative words, I was getting better? So if I had this major disc degeneration problem and a fracture in my spinal bone, how could I be getting better? And so I think honestly they're making it up, and they're looking for reasons that they can point to on an imaging study. They've got no damn proof at all that these things that they're making up are the actual cause of the pain. Look, back surgeries, they've got a horrible success rate. I think I read somewhere that back fusions have like a 30% success rate. Not failure rate, success rate. There's actually a term called back failure syndrome, or back surgery failure syndrome, something like that. I forget the exact phraseology. But it happens enough that they actually have a term for it, and there's a medical code and the insurance code to document the fact that this back surgery failed. They call it a syndrome. It's just that so many times these surgeries are unnecessary and unwarranted. Are there cases when they are? Yes, probably, but it's a small minority. So it's really important to start asking your doctor some pointed questions. Hey doctor, how can you explain the fact that I was doing really well the past month? I set the appointment a month ago, and the past month, with just a shift in my mindset and learning this accurate knowledge about TMS, I started feeling better. And then how do you explain the fact that once you told me that you got a strong hunch that I got a fracture in my back, my pain went through the roof, right? My answer is, in that case, the brain's perception was, oh my God, you have something majorly wrong, and that could be a major problem. You might need surgery, or you may hurt yourself even more and end up paralyzed. Oh my God. And again, part of the purpose of pain, the brain goes up in relation to the brain's perception of the severity of the danger. So the only thing that changed for this young lady was that the doctor told her she might be really, really, really broken and need surgery. And that scared the crap out of her, and therefore the pain went up. Nothing changed in her body. Nothing changed in her spine. You know, she was feeling good up until the day before she got to this appointment, and before this doctor pulled something out of his rear end called, you know, from MSU University, make stuff up university. And so I will just ask you to take everything that the doctors say seriously, but then validate it against TMS and validate it against your own experience. You know, if the doctor says you're severely broken, but you've had great days or months, you know, ask them, hey doc, how can I feel good for a week straight when I'm on vacation, but then I come home and I've got the pain, if in fact my body's the problem, right? So that's just one example. Don't latch on to that if you haven't had that experience, TMS does not apply to you. It does. I'm just using that example because it's a funny one. So see if you can figure out if your friends, if your doctor, and even you have gone to this university called MSU, making stuff up. And that holds true with psychological things as well. You know, they kind of made up this whole ADD diagnosis. And now, God knows how many kids are on ADD medications. You know, they added that to the psychological definition so that they could start prescribing drugs to it. I'm sorry, if you work in the pharmaceutical industry or know somebody who does, I'm not meaning to insult you. But they are creating these diseases so that they can treat them with pharmaceuticals. So a lot of what happens in the medical world, unfortunately, comes from the university of making stuff up. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. It's actually really cold out here, getting chilly. So I'm going to have to start wearing jackets and hats and gloves again. Oh no! So, love you guys and gals. enjoy your Saturday, and we will talk to you soon. Tomorrow, actually. See ya.